The absurd family theatre. Our society was reasonably high-end in a prime location with 3 or 4 bedroom hall units, 2 on each floor. For a couple of years we were alone on the 20th floor without a neighbor. We were very happy when it was purchased and occupied by a family which included Mr. Lal, his wife Kanta, his 2 children, son Sanjay 15 and daughter Lata 18 and their parents in 70s. We didn't inquire and we thought it was unnecessary, about their community identity, caste, religion and the region they came from. It was enough to know that they were good neighbors. It was a large family unusually happy and harmonious with qualities of head and heart, friendly and caring. Thus they could claim high EQ, emotional quotient, besides intelligence, IQ. We were soon on friendly and visiting terms. Our flats were independent and soundproof, not allowing any conversation or interaction to seep through the walls and be overheard. But something strange came to our notice, or rather to our ears. Once or twice a week we could overhear loud screams, angry and painful, of crying, weeping, and fear. Sometimes this negative noise was interrupted by peals of loud laughter. We had an unspoken agreement not to intervene and interfere or spy on each other's privacy. But after a month this demented sounds and words started bothering us. It was as if a tragicomic drama or reality show was being staged in the neighboring flat, or ghosts were interacting, scaring, and fighting in the Lal's family. One evening on Sunday, when the assaulting noise and demented sounds became too overpowering, we decided to intervene. We knocked at the door and after a few seconds we found the family in the normal happy harmonious mode and mood, giving us a warm smiling welcome. We were surprised at the quick change of scene in the family theatre. They asked us to stay for the dinner, but we were still in the grip of anxious curiosity. My wife gathered her courage with a deep breath to broach the puzzling issue haunting our mind. She took Mrs. Lal in a corner and asked in a whisper, "Is your house haunted by ghost? We hear strange sounds, angry, fearful, with occasional loud ghostly laughter." Mrs. Lal smiled, making faces with weird expression and sound. "We are the ghosts. We torment, torture and even tickle each other in our ghost theatre." Mrs. Lal smiled and gave her a warm hug and said, "Come, I will introduce you to other ghost characters." When Mrs. Lal told the group what was bothering my wife, and in fact my entire family, the Lal family broke into laughter which lasted for a minute. When it subsided, the mystery was revealed layer by layer. "Mr. Lal, we play this absurd theatre occasionally as a psychodrama and psychotherapy, to purge by catharsis negative emotions like anger, fear, sadness, depression, and bloated ego. We all have such emotion in varying degree, they have roots in our deeper unconscious layers." My wife was not very convinced about propriety of such methods of staging frequent, absurd theatre in the family. Mrs. Lal, who was professional psychotherapist, explained helpfully, "Such techniques are being used in psychotherapy, in encounter groups with good results. They improve our EQ score and reduce or even erase the negative emotions which have become deep-rooted and addictive, like obsessive attachment and addiction to sex, food, alcohol, drugs, etc. Even excessive love for a person, idea, ideology, and communal and religious fanaticism. Then of course there is anger, fear, arrogance, inferiority, and wounded self-esteem, anxiety, depression and habitual sadness, phobia, and mania of different types." I responded, "Madam, you have almost given us a course in psychology and psychotherapy, without any fees." There was laughter all around. Mr. Lal's father added, "This explains the power of drama and fiction in print, on stage, or in movies. Different emotions, rasas, positive or negative, are dramatized to create a catharsis at the climax, purging the viewer and the performer alike of such emotions and passions which need to be controlled or erased. This is the theory of Aristotle and supported by Bharat's Natya Shastra." Mr. Lal's father was himself a published writer of stories and poems. We could easily trust him. Our coffee session, which had been converted into psychotherapy class on the importance of drama, was coming to an end. But my wife raised an interesting question: if you are identified with a character and emotion too intensely as a performer or a viewer, does it not leave a damaging and enduring impact on them? Mrs. Lal, it is a very interesting question. In fact, when drama is being enacted, there is no doubt about deep identification of performer and viewer, with the character and their emotion acted out. but there is an element of alienation and witnessing which makes us aware that after all it is a theatre and play acting and not reality. Some performers are sucked in such emotions and so are viewers with a long-range adverse impact and hangover. So such psychodrama should be played with the direction and presence of a psychotherapist. I don't charge her any fees for this healing in my family and even yours if you want, she concluded with a grin. Mr. Lal's mother, who normally scripted the drama, added finally, such drama and role play can be enacted between brothers, spouse, parent-child, and mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, especially in Indian context, venting their anger, misunderstanding, complaints with intensity but without physical violence. Many relationships are healed in this process. We parted with thanks. My life commented laughingly, allow us to be part of such theatre sometimes. This is the story of absurd family theatre in our neighborhood.